Institute of Technology acknowledges that our campuses are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish nations of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh.
Good afternoon. I'm your host, Selena Teixeira, and here's your latest headlines for 1 p.m. The Manova Museum in North Vancouver is hosting an event to encourage more education and awareness on Indigeneity this Truth and Reconciliation Day. Our reporter Braden Coombs has more on the story.
The Truth and Reconciliation event at the Manova Museum aims to connect with visitors of all ages, whether they are families or adults on their own. The goal is to provide education and a further understanding of the history of Indigenous peoples. At the event, Indigenous voices will be present to provide their own extensive knowledge on indigeneity and tell stories. Many hands-on activities will be going on as well to encourage more engagement from younger generations who stop by. This is the 4th year the museum has had this kind of event, and they have seen extensive and continuous growth as they are expecting upwards of 1,000 visitors next Tuesday. Braden Coombs, BCIT News.
Alberta's Justice Minister has been directed to introduce new legislation on medical assistance in dying, or MAID, that would give the government greater control and oversight of the program. A new mandate letter to Mickey Avery from Premier Daniel Smith says the legislation should introduce appropriate safeguards and prohibit mental illness from being a sole eligibility factor. Mental illness has never been approved as a sole eligibility factor for MAID, though Ottawa has considered permitting it. The federal government had planned to do so in 2024, but the final decision had been delayed to 2027. Avery's letter doesn't say what other safeguards the government is considering or what kind of oversight it wants to have over the program. Alberta's health services say that more than 1,100 Albertans chose to have medically assisted death last year. As the search continues for an Alberta boy missing in a mountainous terrain, police are now giving a new age for him. RCMP previously said Darius MacDougall was 5 years old, but a Thursday news release states that he was actually 6, without explaining the discrepancy. The search is now on to its 5th day in the Crown West Pass of Alberta's Rocky Mountains. Authorities say in Manitoba may be soon to allow detained intoxicated people for longer than 24 hours. Premier Wab Kinew says a new bill will be introduced in the legislative to extend the maximum detention under provincial law. He says that the people who are detained will receive health services.
If we're going to hold somebody, potentially for a few days, watching that whole angle that I was talking about there, we're going to make sure that they're seen by healthcare professionals.
Former New Democrat MPs Peter Julian and Matthew Green are leading a volunteer effort to re-engage members after the spring election loss. The NDP lost official party status in April and only elected 7 members of parliament. Julian says the next 6 months will be critical for the party as it chooses a new leader and charts a new path forward.
When you engage people in a meaningful way, people step up. And we're asking New Democrats to get involved and to ensure that we can move forward at the riding association level, at the national level, to ensure that this party is strong and vibrant in the next campaign. And what I'm certainly hearing on the doorsteps is that's what Canadians want.
On to international news, AP correspondent Karen Chamaz reports on the latest from the dozens of ships heading towards Gaza to try to deliver aid to the starving Palestinians.
Spain and Italy have said they are sending Navy ships to where a flotilla of dozens of boats carrying activists seeking to break Israel's blockade of Gaza is sailing. The activists said they were attacked by drones south of Greece. The global Sumud flotilla said on Wednesday it was targeted by drones and communications jamming, with several explosions occurring on or near some of the boats. Some of the vessels were damaged, but no injuries were reported. Organisers say the flotilla includes 52 mostly small vessels carrying activists from dozens of countries. They are carrying a symbolic amount of humanitarian aid for Palestinians in Gaza. I'm Karen Shamas.
With the recent shooting occurring at the ICE detention center in Dallas, officials say the shooter hated the U.S. government and wanting to incite terror by killing federal agents. While 2 detainees were killed, one is currently in critical condition, and the shooter took his own life before being arrested. Those were your latest headlines for the afternoon. I'm your host, Selena Teixeira, and you're listening to BCIT's The Crow.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.